Welcome to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. I'm your host, Nick Capozzi. We've got a special show for you today. Tour's going to kick off tomorrow, so technically this is day -1 of the tour, but we're in Seattle a day early, and the reason is that we're doing the Razzball Radio Experts League draft tonight, so we've got some real talent in this draft, and the team is here. We got Guru, we got Sky, we got Tehol. We're going to critique the draft. We're going to look for steals, who made some good calls, so you get to see how an Experts League draft is actually going to unfold. One more thing, if you ever get into underwear modeling, this is the kind of view you can expect to earn with that kind of wage, because this is the view from out front of Tehol's house. Holy cow. Razzball Radio Fantasy Sports Network, here we go.
Razzball Radio. It's Razzball Radio. Razzball Radio. It's Razzball Radio.
All right, we're back. I'm Nick Capozzi. This is Sky from Razzball. Sky, say hi to everybody.
Howdy, y'all.
Okay, I don't know if I'd say howdy, but, whatever. So we are up in Seattle. We are ready to kick off the tour. It is starting Monday, August 4th at World Sports Grill. Very excited about that. But on today's show, what we did was we actually went through today and just had the Razzball Radio Experts League draft. Some real heavy hitters. Do you think so, Sky? Were there some good people on this?
Yeah. This is a great list. It's a list you should be following on Twitter and for all your fantasy advice.
Totally. Okay, so let's tell you who was here. The girls from Her Fantasy Football had the first pick. Second pick was Sam from Fantasy Ball Blogger. The third pick went to Nick from Project Roto. Number 4 was Mike Cardano from Roto Experts and the Fantasy Sports Network. Number 5 was Roto Baller. That was Raf and Leor. I had the number 6 pick. Fantasy Football Hottie and the Pool Boy had the number 7 pick. Number 8 was Matt Strockman from Next Level Fantasy. Number 9 was Corey Pavone. 10 was Marcus Katkin from Blindside Football. And rounding it out was Pat Mail from Fantasy Sports Network and Bogman and the Welsh from the Sports Porch Podcast. So this was a lot of fun. And you know what? I was kind of surprised with how this went. Now, it's Razzball Commentator League. Of course, you can join one. Just go to razzball.com, click the football tab. But we use the standard scoring, so it's Yahoo standard plus half point per reception, and we add an extra flex. So 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, and a flex. What do you think about the format in general?
I do like the format. Typically, if I'm going to try to, I always like to add a super flex. I'm a big 1.5 QB kind of guy. But in terms of having a good, relaxing league and having everyone have a little bit of fun, this is definitely the perfect setup.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go through some of the picks. Now, I had the 6th overall pick. I was really surprised. My strategy going in was to go wide receiver. I thought maybe at 6 I could get Calvin Johnson, maybe get a Julio Jones in the second round. It didn't quite work out that way for me. Calvin Johnson went number 2 overall. So I'm not a huge Forte guy. You're big on Forte. I took him with 1.6. Why are you loving Matt Forte this year?
Well, it goes to show that every single year another running back is always the top one of the league, and it's rarely the guy that you end up drafting. I think the last time that happened was 2007. I believe it was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yep.
So what you have here is you have constant churn. It's never that top guy that gets it. I'm not saying McCoy is going to be bad. I'm not saying that Charles is going to be bad. But I do believe that Forte has a great shot. Last year he had 1,800 yards, 74 receptions, 12 touchdowns, and he's in a great offense. I do really believe in Bears and Trestman, and I think this is the year they're going to take it to the next level.
Okay, now that's fair enough. And in the second round, I took Alshon Jeffrey. Now, I like the talent. Obviously, the man is a physical specimen, great football player. But Jay Cutler missed a lot of time last year, and Brandon Marshall has always been his safety blanket. Are you not concerned about that? Because you guys really pushed me to take Jeffrey.
I think in the end it comes down to volume. I think the Bears' offense is going to have a high enough octane volume to get enough players involved that's going to be a worthy and worthwhile pick. I also think Brandon Marshall, though he is his go-to guy, he's shifting to the under routes and whatnot. I think Alshon's going to be the guy that's going to be getting those big bombs during the week when things loosen up from Forte and Marshall. And I don't know, I'm big on the Bears this year overall, but I do like me some Alshon.
Okay, you like Keith Alshon. I like that. Now, the third pick I had, I took Andre Ellington, and no one here liked that pick. My logic was I felt I had 2 pretty safe picks to start with, so let me swing for the fences. People are worried about Ellington's size. I'm living in Arizona right now. I'm seeing a ton of Andre Ellington. And to me, if there's a guy, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there's a guy who could leap from second, third, fourth round territory to maybe a top 3 player next year, I know it sounds crazy, could be Andre Ellington because he reminds me so much of Jamal Charles.
You know, it's hard to diffuse that argument. I think for me, it's 9 times out of 10, it's about price. I don't like where he's going in a lot of drafts. In your draft, he went right next to a guy that I would prefer in Zach Stacy. You know, I call him tugboats. Those are guys you just give them the ball and they're going to tote it, 250, 300 times without a concern, just due to their size. They're going to be able to make it through the NFL season and have a healthy touchdown score at the end of the year. For him, I think his yards per carry is an argument that people bring up. It was around 5.7, if I'm incorrect. I could be correct or incorrect on.
Close enough.
Close enough. But I think it's going to pull back this year if he starts getting too many carries. And I just can't see him lasting through the whole year as a lead back.
All right, now later on in the draft, I was looking for a real deep, high upside wide receiver. You and I talked about Kenny Britt. I know you really like Kenny Britt. To me, it's never been about talent with him. It's always been about off-field concerns. What's your thoughts on Kenny Britt this year?
Kenny Britt is back with the man that kept him in line in Fisher down there in St. Louis. So, you know, in terms of the off-field turmoil, he knows he's being given a shot to make up for the last few years in Tennessee that have been not only injuries but off-field issues and how he deals with his teammates. Fisher's going to keep him in line, and a lot of people overlook and forget the fact that Bradford was one of the top fantasy QBs before he went down last year, and he did not have the greatest receiving core, especially in terms of size. You know, they went out and got Tavon Austin. Great athletic talent, but not a guy that you want to be chucking it high up to in the end zone. Kenny Britt is that guy, and as long as Fisher keeps him in line, he's in a great spot to have a huge year.
Yeah, absolutely. People did forget that how good Sam Bradford was, and that wide receiver core is oozing upside. So there's a lot of upside, and I'll just say upside again, just so I can say I said upside for another time, and upside and upside and upside. Okay, so what was a pick that someone else took that you really liked? Because I heard you get excited when this guy went in the 7th round.
Yeah. I really liked Brandon Cooks. The kid's going to be filling a role. They already talked about basically saying this is our Darren Sproles in a lot of ways. When Darren Sproles went, they needed to fill that role again, and he's going to be all over the field for him. You know, and Marcus Colston isn't getting any younger. I think he's going to have a great chance on that offense to be huge in PPR and also get some and be able to score a few TDs in there as well. I'm just high on him. He's in a great offense and a great setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there was a lot of interesting picks, but one that you made for me because I was running down to get some camera gear out of the Razzmobile. You took Shane Vereen in the 5th round. Tell me why you like that pick.
Again, that's a running back that's that Patriots offense comes and goes with Rob Gronkowski at this point, and I'm a full believer that Gronkowski is going to have a full, strong season, and he's gonna come on strong, and but he also needs to throw it to somebody else, and he hasn't really established a rapport with those wide receivers, but he has one with Vereen, and I think he's going to keep that going. I see huge potential in PPR, and great yardage from that man in the receiving area.
All right, good stuff. So, again, if you want to come out and hang out with us in Seattle, August the 4th, we are at the World Sports Grill right downtown. Come on out and hang out with us. We're going to be right back. We've got more going on. We got Guru coming out. We've got Tehol coming out. Of course, this is his place, so we got to put him on TV. This is Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network.
I was never one for traditional dating, which is why I like to meet guys on ArrangementFinders.com. Arrangement Finders puts a twist on dating that works so well, they guarantee you'll find a girl. That's right, guarantee. Sounds too good to be true? Check out these girls on ArrangementFinders.com who are looking to date. She's hot. She's hot. Okay, her, not so much. Anyway, it's free to join, so you've got nothing to lose. Go to Arrangement Finders and meet girls like me who know what you really want.
Welcome back to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We're hanging at Tehol's house in Seattle. Man, how did you get a spot like this for real?
I'd have to thank Mrs. Donatella Versace for everything I have back in '98.
I wish you could see where we are because we are in an epic location in downtown Seattle. Why do you bother blogging for us, man?
It's the passion, man. It's like the love of the game. This is what I do.
By the way, I love this too, man. You're wearing the 32 and 32 and 32 T-shirt, of course. Come see us in Seattle tomorrow. Okay, Tehol, let's talk. I want to talk specifically tight ends because that was a place during this draft where there was some debate in here. I didn't have one. I'd stocked up on wide receivers and running backs. So the guys that were options at that point were Kyle Rudolph, Jordan Reed, Zach Ertz. You made a big pitch for Reed. And you basically said, I got to get him. So what's the story with Reed this year?
He's going to have a big year. I wanted you to draft him the round before, and you skipped him. But luckily for you, he bounced back all the way. You got him where you wanted him. He's going to have 7 to 10 touchdowns. He's going to destroy the middle of the field. We're going to have Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon eating on the outside. It's going to be wide open. He's going to kill it. It's just a fact.
I love that you're wearing the Razzball T-shirt, but I was kind of hoping you'd wear like the leisure suit or the smoking jacket today. Try and stay in character. Okay, another tight end that we talked about quite a bit, and you said, hey, if you don't get Reed now, you can always get Zach Ertz. What's the story?
That's right. It's another young guy. He's coming into his second season. Always make the big jump. We're in the Eagles' wide open offense. He's going to eat. He's going to kill it. We're wide open there. We have Macklin. We got.
He's going to eat what? He's going to eat food, or he's going
to eat receptions. He's going to eat opposing defenses. He's going to eat touchdowns all day. 5 to 10 for him. I'm not going full out as well for Reed. He's not getting. I'm not going to go to double the extent of Reed, but he's going to be in that range. We're good.
Well, I'm curious to see tomorrow when we're actually at a World Sports Grill how you beat off the women, because it's tough, man. Just walking around town with you, you've got the women looking at your face and the men looking at your sneakers.
It's a challenge, man. It's hard being me sometimes. It really is. It is a.
It's tough being Tehol. Okay, let's talk about what was one of the picks that you liked that I made in this draft. Who was one of the players that you dug?
Nobody else was feeling it, but I know you said we all didn't like the pick, but I love the Ellington pick. As you said earlier, he is the Jamal Charles of the NFC. There's nobody with that kind of upside. The third round, I'm on that all day. I'm doing it all day. I love the pick personally. He could have 15 to 2,000 total yards. He's going on fades. He's catching balls. PPR, he's a monster. It's an easy pick for me. Great pick by you.
Well, thanks very much. With the fourth pick, I got Roddy White. Now, a lot of talk here about a big bounce back season for him, especially again with this half point per reception advantage. What's your take on Roddy?
Well, I interviewed him last year, and I accidentally called him Julio Jones, so he pretty much despises me. But other than that, I'd like him to have a bounce back season. I feel it for him, for his sake. Maybe if I say this, he'll remember me and thank me for. Maybe it's like making it up to him. He's going to bounce back, no doubt about that. I'm not as big of a fan of him as a lot of people, but fourth might be a little early for me, but I still think he has 1,000, 8 to 10.
Do we still have the tape somewhere of you?
Oh, yeah. It's online. YouTube that. DirecTV, we did it real big last year. I called him Julio again. Roddy White and Maurice Jones-Drew and me, Tehol, all together in one spot. We did it with DirecTV. You can find that. YouTube it.
I will. Oh my goodness, this is good. This is a good segment. I like this. All right, what was a pick that you didn't like? Who picked a player and you said, man, what's going on here? How is this person in this league?
Oh my God, for me it's got to be Arian Foster, 11th overall. People like the bounce back. He's just the injuries. I'm sick of it. I traded for him last year. He immediately pulled something in his back and went out for the season. Back surgery. Who wants a running back off back surgery? And what do you know? He pulled his hammy 2 days ago. Shocker on that one. Real shocker. Real surprise there. Not feeling that pick at all. I'm not touching that guy. He's going in front of Le'Veon Bell. He's going in front. I'd rather have Ellington. We talked about him earlier. All day. Not even close.
You know what I love? You always hold back, Tehol. You always hold back, and you make me dig. You make me dig the questions out of you. That's the great thing of chatting with you. Now, look, we're here in Seattle land, of course. Obviously, a lot of buzz here about the Seahawks. Golden Tate, obviously, is gone now. Sidney Rice is retired, not that he's been relevant. What kind of year does Percy Harvin have for the Hawks this year?
You know, Nick, that's the toughest one to really judge. I mean, I like to think that he's going to have a monster year, but I'm more on the conservative side. I think he's going to play at least 12 to 13 games, I would expect. I think he's going to catch a lot of those swing passes. They're going to send him on seam routes. They're going to try to get him the ball. It's just how much. I'm thinking more like 800 to 1,000 yards max. But then they might get him. He gets TDs in such creative ways. He'll probably get some rushing yards. So it'll be a productive season. He's going a little too high for my taste.
I almost brought one of your frou-frou dogs out here because I didn't know. We walk in and he has multiple pets that are all wearing frilly outfits. Did you want to comment on that?
No comment.
Right. Very frilly. We should get one of the dogs. Maybe when Guru comes on next segment, we'll bring out one of the dogs. Okay, so Harvin was interesting. What about Doug Baldwin? Is he going to get catches? Is he going to replace what Tate did last year?
I think so. I think he's going to be right around what Tate did. He's not quite as shifty, but he showed he could start last year. He was productive. He did a lot of good things, and he's going to have to take over some of the responsibility, and he got paid. He's ready to do it. He's got to do it. He'll be solid. I think he's kind of under the radar. He's a decent third or fourth receiver.
Okay, now what was one of the sleeper picks that you dug in this draft?
Sleeper picks for me is my boy. I keep going back to him, Marquise Lee. Nobody's talking about. People are talking about him killing it in Jacksonville camp right now, being the number one receiver. Shorts is hurt. Everything's going to go his way. He's a star in the making. He's one of my favorite receivers in the whole draft. He's explosive, man. They're going to play him in the slot. They're going to play him outside. He's going to go off.
All right. Speaking of explosive, so was this segment with Tehol at Bedek143 on Twitter. This is Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. We'll be right back.
I was never one for traditional dating, which is why I like to meet guys on ArrangementFinders.com. Arrangement Finders puts a twist on dating that works so well, they guarantee you'll find a girl. That's right, guarantee. Sounds too good to be true? Check out these girls on ArrangementFinders.com who are looking to date. She's hot. She's hot. Okay, her, not so much. Anyway, it's free to join, so you've got nothing to lose. Go to Arrangement Finders and meet girls like me who know what you really want.
Welcome back to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. I am joined now in the flesh by the Jam and Cram Guru. Guru, welcome to Razzball Radio, brother.
I got to tell you, Nick, it is awesome to be here in Seattle, Washington. 5,000 miles from my hometown. Man, this is working good.
How was the flight over to Seattle cross country?
Absolutely miserable. I don't understand. At what point did stewardesses become flight attendants?
When we got politically correct?
It's not right.
It's very right. All right, now you are from New England. Obviously, it is well known that you're a big Patriots fan. You were pushing me to take Aaron Dobson late in the draft. I didn't because I'm worried about the foot injury. How do you see the whole New England offense going down this year?
Well, like you said, I'm a huge Patriots fan, and a lot is going to be dependent on the health of Rob Gronkowski. Now, I think Gronk is a great pick. I don't think you should shy away from him at all. And Dobson, I mean, someone has got to catch those balls on the outside in New England. Now, while Tom Brady's touchdowns have gone down over the last few years, he's gone from like 34 to like 30 to 29, I think, last year. So someone's got to catch those passes. It's going to be Dobson.
Yeah. Okay. What if he's not on the field because of the foot injury?
I'm not going to worry about the foot injury. Maybe in the first couple of weeks, but as the season progresses, you're going to see some real chemistry developing there between Brady and Dobson. He's done it before. He's Tom Brady. He can do no wrong. You know, he started with Bridget Monahan, and he moved up to Giselle. He had his Randy Moss, and now he's got some Dobson, and he's going to be a supermodel.
I feel like I'm kind of speaking to a mix of Hunter S. Thompson and Randy Macho Man Savage right now. I do, genuinely.
Well, you know, Hunter S. Thompson, you know, said it best when he talked about working in media. Working in media is a shallow money trench where good men die like dogs, and we're dying every night here.
Speak for yourself, man. Now, one thing that was very surprising that we've learned about you, Guru, is that you're really into hair care products. And in fact, actually, you and I have been threatening to get Sky and drag him out to a barbershop and take a weed whacker to that mess of hair of his. What's the fantasy outlook on Sky's hair this year?
I got to tell you, when you're drafting the top haircuts at Razzball, Sky Sperling is going in the first round. I'm going 1-1 on Sky Sperling when it comes to his hair. That is some killer hair. It's thick. It's luxurious. It's not thinning like mine, and we're not going to mention Nick's and what's going on back there. There's a little something happening back there. I'm trying to help. Sky Sperling, #1 pick.
Okay, so who are some of the sleepers that you liked in this draft? Who surprised you? Maybe they went a little too early, they went too late, but give me a sleeper that you really dug.
Okay, I hate to go back to the New England Patriots again, but I think Shane Vereen is a real sleeper, especially in PPR leagues. I mean, if you're getting 0.5 points per reception, Shane Vereen is a real good pick. He's going late, I think, middle to late rounds. He's kind of like a
middle to late rounds. Have you been mock drafting, my man? He's going like 5th, 6th round.
He's kind of like a Kevin Falk sort of guy. And I'm telling you, the drafts that I've been in lately, not the expert draft that you were in, but the experts have picked up on it. But if you're talking like regular old working folk, blue collar, working class, Pittsburgh Yinzers, pick up Shane Vereen.
All right. Now, I took with my last pick before I took kick your defense, I took John Brown, the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, wicked fast. How would they say that actually in Bahaba?
In Maine?
Yeah.
Well, they would say that John Brown is wicked fast. He's like a little whippersnapper that's chasing down one of those lobsters.
Now, Brown is very fast. He burned it up at the combine. Lots of good pub on him, so he's a guy that you can look at later on. Who's a bust this year? Who's a guy that you're just not touching?
I hate to go back to the New England Patriots again.
Then don't.
Tom Brady is going to bust this year. It's just about done for Tom Terrific in New England. And he's not a guy that I want on my team when I'm drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, but you just made the argument that someone's going to be catching the balls.
Right, exactly. Someone's got to catch the balls. But if you're going to be taking Tom Terrific in the 3rd round, you're crazy. I love the pick that you made at quarterback.
Oh, Tony Romo.
Yeah, and it was late.
Actually, so I waited. Now, here's the thing. I took Romo because I think Dallas's defense is going to be terrible. I think there's going to be a lot of upside for that entire offense this year. Also, like Terrence Williams, couldn't get him. But I left Nick Foles on the board, and boy, did I get flack for that. You buying Nick Foles?
I'm buying Nick Foles. I love Nick Foley and Dynamite. Have you seen those pics? He looks like Napoleon Dynamite. If only he had Pedro to throw to, that would be awesome. Probably not going to happen. But I'm going to go Foles over Tom Terrific there in New England.
But you did make the argument that I should have taken Cutler real quick, 30 seconds, not even 15 seconds. Why are you taking Cutler over Romo and Foles?
Draft Cutler. He's a winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There you go. Great insight from the Guru. We will be tomorrow doing our first live show, first road show, World Sports Grill in Seattle. Come out and hang out with us. We're going to have a good time. This is Razzball Radio and Fantasy Sports Network. Get ready. 32 and 32 and 32. It's officially on.